This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs the Playbook, and I am really excited because we have a real entrepreneur. And when I say that, you'll see the journey. But we have Griffin Thrall. He is the CEO and founder of Pura Vida Bracelets from Costa Rica originally. He's not, but the bracelets are. I'm going to get into this because a lot of people try to do what you've done. And that's why I really wanted to have you on here, because I love people that have great ideas. I love people that have seen great ideas. But those are innovators in my mind. And a true entrepreneur can take a great idea, execute on it, and take it all the way through to even an exit, which you guys have recently had as well, a multi-million-dollar business. And it all started on a trip with a friend. Is that right?
Yeah.
How did you discover Pura Vida Bracelets?
So we were on a surf trip in Costa Rica after graduating from San Diego State.
Right on.
And me and Paul, my current business partner and best friend, we met these guys on the beach making bracelets by hand, and we walked up to their little table and bought a couple, and then the next day went back to our table, bought a couple more, and then the next day we looked down at our wrists and we're like, hey, I think we can sell these to our friends and family back home and bring these guys more opportunity.
And you bought like $200 worth, I think, right?
Yeah, we bought like 400 bracelets. That was like the end of it.
And they were stoked. The people on the beach were probably completely excited that they sold that many bracelets.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they never sell probably more than like 15 or 20 a day. So.
And what were your aspirations? Beyond obviously selling those bracelets, did you go when you were surfing down in Costa Rica? You had graduated from college. What did you think your next steps were going to be for a career?
To be honest, we didn't know. We were going to polish off our resumes the day we got back. And
right on.
Pura Vida definitely interrupted that process, but we're glad it did. So I think anything, with being creative, I've always been into graphic design and website design and stuff like that. So I feel like, if it wasn't Pura Vida, then maybe we would have stumbled upon a different product. But I feel like, the timing, right place, right time, meeting Jorge and Joaquin with Paul it was very magical. And
through that magic, though, it takes execution. What year was that when you met Joaquin and the guys?
2010.
So 9 years ago. You're an overnight success. 9 years. It's beautiful. Anyway, so now you have this product and you bring it back. What happens?
So we come back. We didn't really know what to do. So we filed a business license, figured out taxes, built a website, watched YouTube videos.
Did you try to sell the inventory that you bought, or you were just sure it was going to sell?
I mean, we weren't really too sure. We just, we gave it to our friends and family like right away.
So you gave them away and got feedback.
Gave them away. They were spilled, on my bedroom floor for about a couple weeks, and people would come knocking on our door, texting us saying, "Hey, like you got those bracelets from Costa Rica, right?" We're like, "Yeah." So they come over, they grab one, and then a couple days later they come back, say, "Hey, my sister really wants one. Can I have another one?" And after doing this for about 2 weeks, the 400 bracelets were gone.
Okay. Cool.
So we emailed Jorge, and he didn't write back for 10 days. So during those 10 days, we were just tripping. We're like, all right, we gotta find a real job. Like, this is it. We made, a couple grand and, that's it pretty much. But yeah, after that, he wrote back after 10 days and he said we could place another order.
Oh, very cool. And so that's when you started building the website, getting the business license, et cetera?
Correct, yeah.
And what type of inventory did you start with when you bought that next order?
The first batch was about 1,000.
1,000, and you just financed it yourself with cash?
Yeah, just from the first.
Did you go down to Costa Rica to see any facilities for quality control, or just? I mean, you were talking about two guys on the beach making bracelets.
It was just two guys making it in their bedroom, the same like me and Paul working in my bedroom. So there wasn't really a need for some, big thing like that yet.
I get it, man. Bezos started in his garage, bookstore online, and so you utilize what you learned in college, that marketing skill. Building websites, digital marketing, all of those great San Diego State business background. And how long did it take until you had what I call a real business, until you guys, were making what you would have made getting a job?
I'd say after about 4 to 6 months, we started to make enough money to pay our own rent and make a little bit of profit where we could afford our own office. And then once we did that, we hired our first employee to help us with packing the bracelets.
And in the first 4 to 6 months, you're out of college. You came back from a surfing trip. Did either set of parents think, God, you guys, you're just delaying the inevitable? This is a cockamamie story about selling bracelets.
I mean, I think they still think we're crazy.
But yeah, that's okay, but you proved
them. Of course.
It's okay to think it's crazy.
Yes.
I don't like the word sacrifice, so I use the words, investing in yourself. Those first 6 months, what type of investment did you make in yourself to make this business run?
I mean, we had to risk not getting a job, so, whatever we valued our salary at was definitely well under what the salary could have been if we had a full-time job. But we knew that we had to kind of be very scrappy and figure out a way to the top and just kind of, climb our way up there. So I think after doing it month after month and realizing that there was a demand for these products, we were selling out, customers were emailing us for more, our friends, up in LA and family were like, hey, can you send me a batch of 50? And we're like, we don't have that many. So once we started realizing that we hit this ceiling of demand and supply every single week, there was a business to be had.
And how did you, looking at it as a business person myself, as an investor, as someone who deals with literally thousands of businesses, I'm still not getting how you transferred over to have the supply in order to effectuate the demand, with the quality control, because your products are extraordinary. And there's still just two guys working out of their house in Costa Rica. How'd you make that transition to have the tight? I mean, your distribution in 3,000 retail stores now or something?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How did you grow that side of the business? I get your expertise in marketing and the website, right? We can all sell product. That's good.
Yes.
And, obviously it thrives because people enjoy it and want to buy more. But I saw the big hole is you came to me as an investor and said, Dave, I need supply, give me some money to invest in my company. I'd be seriously worried about getting bracelets from Costa Rica from two guys out of their bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, we didn't really know what was going to happen. So, Jorge and Joaquin were just making bracelets for us. Then they hired their friends. Then their friends hired their friends. And it just became this place to work where people just wanted to work. And they had a culture just like ours here in San Diego and really, breeded that.
And did you guys open a facility in Costa Rica?
So it's completely their company.
Yeah.
It's their facility, and we basically buy the products from them.
And how big is their company now?
So they have about 600 to 700 employees there.
Oh my God. And were they part of your exit deal that you just recently did?
Separate, totally separate. Yeah.
So the valuation, I believe is public, of the deal was like $130 million.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And somebody bought 75% of that $130 million from you to take it even to the next level, which most people listening probably don't know. But what happens, not only does he have liquidity in the exit, which is, genius for Griffin. Now he's my best friend and neighbor, which you always want to have as many rich friends as you can. But moreover, I always like the leftover 25% because it tells me that with the assistance of a bigger company and deeper pockets, that 25% will probably be worth more than you exited from the 75%, which is what most people don't realize. They think they've hit the end. Now, are you staying on?
Yes.
On board now.
So we're full on, staying on board. We love our company culture in La Jolla. Paul and I love the brand. It's never been growing faster than it has been. So we're excited to kind of take this brand to the next level with, our new partner.
What was the biggest challenge, scaling a business from literally two guys in a room here, two guys in a room in Costa Rica, to a multi-million-dollar business? What was the biggest challenge that you faced?
I would say logistics and operations. We had the marketing stuff dialed. We were selling to our consumer ourselves, basically. We knew how to get the word out online. But then, every time we had a roadblock, it would always went back down to logistics, operations, fulfillment, supply chain. They're all made by hand. They're made with scissors and candles, no machines. Still, yeah. Which is so crazy.
Yeah, well, that's why there's 600 to 700. And how did the pricing change? Don't give me the actual cost of goods, but percentage-wise, from those first bracelets, how did percentage-wise did the pricing go now that they do thousands and thousands of bracelets?
Yeah, I mean the price, our cost to them, the price that we pay per bracelet from them has not changed. We haven't squeezed them out. We haven't tried to maximize or try to get more money out of them. The way that we kind of benefit on our end is we try to make products that have more detail on them. So they have beads or they have braids or they come in a pack of 5 bracelets. And that's kind of our way of maximizing the business as opposed to squeezing it out on the bottom line.
That's awesome. And, as far as philanthropy goes, I'm a compassionate capitalist and I've been to Costa Rica. So I know what that means to the economy to have employed 600 to 700 people, to build an industry down there has an extraordinary impact. But you guys also do a lot more than that as far as philanthropy goes. I think it'd be enough to say hey, we're have developed an entire economy down there and supported all these people. But what other things are you doing to give back? Because you are a very conscious company.
I mean, yeah. Well, so the products are handmade between Costa Rica and El Salvador. We have 2 big operations. But in terms of the charitable part of our business, we've donated over $2 million to our charity partners. And that's through the sales of different bracelets on our website. So for example, this started out when one customer said, hey, my mom has breast cancer. I would love to donate or support that cause through a bracelet. And we said, okay, like we'll figure it out. So a month later, we put a pink bracelet on our website, donated a % to that charity. And basically that's how the charity collection was born.
Have you ever had a collection for like a gratitude bracelet or, some sort of theme like that?
Not really, not
See,
yet.
now we're talking.
Yes,
Let's get it going here for the Unstoppable Foundation. We're going to have the first gratitude, Dave Meltzer gratitude bracelet.
Yes.
The attitude of gratitude. All right, we got a deal working here. That's good. Now, it's interesting because you're probably around 31 or somewhere in there.
32, perfect.
32, perfect. You got a lot of life left, right? I'm 51 years old, and I could have retired when I was 31 as well. In fact, I did when I was 35, which was a huge mistake. I want people to understand the perspective in your relationship with money. Obviously, this is a really big deal. Your exit changes everybody's lives around you. But what's your perspective, being a 32-year-old and saying, okay, what's next for Griffin?
I mean, I think for me, it's knowing that we did get a lot of cash, obviously, but it's about protecting it, preserving it, helping out our families, but also doing anything we can with charity as well. And I think right now our focus is purely on the business. It's about growing the business. It's about how far can we build Pura Vida with the help of our new partner. And I think that's kind of how I view it. We've never been people to just take money and spend it on bottle service and celebrate every single night of the week. I mean, that's never been.
You still surfing?
Still surf every day as much as we can.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's our celebration is surfing or traveling with our friends and family. It's not about
owning
using
things.
the money. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. Expansion now. So you have, quite a brand, quite a following. You obviously have some bigger and better partners to help effectuate what you want to do. Is there different lines of products that you want to move to now that you have the support of your partner?
I think right now we just really want to focus on the jewelry category. It started off just as one SKU, a silver wave ring, and that was interrupting a bracelet brand, essentially. And now jewelry is about 30% of our business, and it's been growing more and more every year. So we feel that investing resources into different rings, necklaces, earrings, and anything that has like precious metals and stones is the next chapter for Pura Vida.
It's interesting because I see the display here in a lot of places. You're, doing well and executing on retail. What's the percentage retail to online?
Online is about 70%-ish, and then our wholesale business is about 30%.
And do you see that changing in the next 10 years?
Potentially. I mean, we've always been such a fast growth e-commerce brand. So depending on how far we push the e-commerce or how many more doors we open up each year, it just depends on, which is kind of being demanded more. But our customers, they're shopping everywhere. They're shopping on their phones. They're shopping at the local gift store. They're going into Tilly's. So it just kind of depends like where our customers buying, and we just have to continue supporting that inventory.
That's awesome. One of the biggest questions as an entrepreneur now, by 2027, over 50% of the people are going to be freelancers, entrepreneurs like yourself. What's your perspective on college? Like, I'm a big fan of San Diego State. Obviously, I grew up around there. I would have went there if they let me play football. But looking at me, you know why they don't. They actually want to win. We had Marshall Falk in here, by the way. You would have loved it.
Oh, nice.
Literally yesterday. So, but moreover, what's your perspective as someone that went to college, got out, started a business, probably more on the pragmatic side? What's your philosophy or advice you would give to someone? Is college worth the money?
I think it's worth the money because the connections we built. We started college and, right off the bat, we were in the dorms. From there, me and Paul were both in separate fraternities, and I feel like that kind of challenged us to get out of our skin, become like a natural leader, and network with as many people in fraternities and sororities as possible. So the first thing we did when we got back from Costa Rica was go to the sororities and fraternities, stand up in front of chapter meetings, and talk about our story. So I think that if we didn't have that connection, knocking on the doors to go approach them would have been a little bit different.
Oh, very cool. Last question. Obviously extremely successful, blessed, and gracious. I could tell that you still have the perspective of how lucky you are, even though it took a lot of hard work, grit, and risk. What do you think your superpower is? What the difference between you four guys that started this business, and it's not just you, right? It took all four of you. But, what's that superpower that you have that you think made the difference to become a multimillionaire by the time you're 32 and build this great business?
I think I'm very motivated. I'm a very good motivator of other people. I'm very ambitious, creative. I'm very creative since day one. I've always just been finding a way to kind of tell a story through a photograph. That's kind of been my thing. So I think as long as we could continue being like that and I could have that fire, I think Pura Vida is going to continue to grow.
As do I, and I look forward to working with you on the Dave Meltzer Gratitude Bracelet for charity, by the way.
Love it.
I would love to do that. Anyway, you are like the classic entrepreneur, and what a pleasure to have you on, because I think, we've had football Hall of Famers and baseball players and, extraordinary, billion-dollar CEOs, Tillman Fertitta, but you are who I think everybody really wants to hear from, because this audience really wants to identify and believe that, hey, I can take a great idea and execute on it. And that, to me, is what makes America and capitalism so unbelievable, that, someone like you, surfer from San Diego State, can end up on top of the world of business. And this is just a start. So I can't wait to watch and have you back and see the future. And what a pleasure, Griffin, to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Griffin Thrall, CEO, co-founder, by the way, of Pura Vida Bracelets and Jewelry with Dave Meltzer's Entrepreneur, the Playbook.